Join us every week for coaching and Q&A. You'll learn how to get more listings signed and sold following the simple and fun easy listing method. Plus, find hidden gem tips and get motivated as you surround yourself with like-minded peers in this weekly mastermind. Let's jump in.
Hello.
Letitia Yvette Johnson, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Now that you're here, I'm awesome. So how you doing, Letitia? You getting ready for the training tomorrow?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, I'm excited to add this to my website that I'm building out.
Ooh, yay. The training has yielded some results. So far since we launched the new site, 100% of the transactions have closed, which is unheard of. That means the agents are doing their job.
That's amazing. That's
It
definitely
is amazing.
your track record alone was very motivating.
You know, when you see what this does for the consumers, when you run a perfect event and you see what it does to represent the buyers, the sellers, the agents, you just walk out like, wow, we've got something here. Transparency is so huge for the real estate industry. And it's like I said, I've been doing it for 10 years and I've heard it all from everybody. And NAR with that lawsuit, they played right into our hands.
Yeah, it
So,
was very timely with that lawsuit, definitely.
yeah, it should have never happened. That lawsuit should have never happened. Our NAR should have fought it.
Yeah, I agree.
What's up, Frank?
Good morning. How are you?
Good, good, good. How are you?
Can't complain. You still in Cleveland?
What's that?
Still in Cleveland?
Yeah. Oh, good news is we only have a foot of snow on the ground now instead of none. But it looks like a no, it doesn't. There's clouds coming. Say it looks like a Santa Ana day because there's no clouds, but now there's clouds.
That's Santa Ana Day in Cleveland, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, we don't get many of those.
I have a question while we're waiting.
Okay.
How many times do you think that I should go over the training material, like the training course, in order to be very proficient in explaining what this platform is and how it's
None.
beneficial? None? Oh, okay.
Go through the next, Frank. Will she come out with knowing how to work the system after Frank's graduated the training last week? Will she come out knowing how to work this process?
Yep, you have all the nuts and bolts for sure.
Yeah. Frank had his aha moment last week or 2 weeks ago where he just said, the sellers have a choice. They can play the game and do it right or not. And I'll why don't we get into this when other people get on? Because I know you'll hear a lot of the same stories over the training, Yvette, but if they don't want to play ball with me, I won't take the listing, but my wife will. But every time we don't use the platform, we're chasing the price down. As a seller and as a real estate agent, you want to chase it down or chase it up?
Up.
Exactly. And that's the two choices they have using our system. And I can't make everybody come to the well. And I'll tell you about, let's say, hey, Ronald, we'll give them till like 1:07, then we'll get into answering the questions. But I like everybody here because that's really what this is all about. It's just feeling comfortable and being, for me, I'm so passionate about this thing because I've seen what it does for the public. There just isn't anything out there. And by the way, so everybody kind of knows my wife, right?
Yep.
She was a skeptic too. And now she is on fire for this thing. Boy. So Frank, we start a new class tomorrow and Ronald's gonna get to hear it again. He wants that master certified agent signal. Don't you, Ronald?
That's right.
So, yeah, Yvette, you'll come out of the training much more knowledgeable than you are now. That the other course is just it gets you infected so to speak. But when we get done with the training, you should be coming out with some listings.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, yep. Hey, John.
What's up, brother?
Johnny Frolic. What's up with you? You ready for training tomorrow?
I am ready for training tomorrow. Just got done sending a note over to our buddy who's going to be training with us. See if we can't get together and have a chat about marketing.
Do me a favor and send me his email so I get him all the stuff beforehand.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you have it, so you can send it to him, I guess, yourself. But I want to, the classes are starting to get big enough now to where this will become like a group where everybody will probably be in communication with each other with successes. And Frank, John, Ronald, I don't think you guys heard this stuff, but since we launched a new platform and started this training, after the first month, everything that's gone on the platform has gone pending and closed. So we're at 100%
That is awesome.
on a closing ratio versus what we were
Wow,
doing
that's
before.
good. That's a good start.
Yeah. So the
Awesome.
training matters, you guys. And I am not a great trainer, and I know I'm not, but I know how this thing sing and how to make it work. If I didn't talk like an idiot half the time, then I'd probably be a better trainer. But we are yielding results, and that's the most important thing about this. Never forget the unique selling proposition. I'll sell your home and not charge you, the seller, any commission. And then after you do this for a few years, guess what your new mantra is going to be? I'm going to sell your home, but you're only going to pay 1% commission. And you're still going to get a 6% buyer's premium. So what are you going to do? You're going to make an extra percent on that, right? You're not giving it to the buyer's agent. They don't need it anymore. We're going to get them 2.5, and that's good enough for them. All right.
While we're waiting, do you have a topic that's going to be on the table for Thursday's class?
We are, I'm not going to, because we are sending that out on Tuesday afternoon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have 52 topics, and we're sending out the first 10 on tomorrow afternoon. Kat's making me up a nice little marketing thing for it. Topic Thursdays. What would
And,
you like the topic to be, Frank? Let's see if you can guess what the first one is.
how about what to do, how to prep to have a successful open house when you do that one and done?
That's actually number 2. Man, you're good, Frank. You know what? I think I'm going to move you to Cleveland, and you can do these, and I'll sell houses in San Diego for you. Yeah, that's number 2. That's absolutely.
Okay. Well,
So I
then,
won't give away number 1.
well, can't wait till tomorrow afternoon to see what it's all about. So these are going to
Yep.
be deep dives into each subject, correct?
Well, a lot deeper than anybody else is going to take, Keanu.
No, I got you.
Yeah, it's so funny. Nothing is rocket science, but yet sometimes it is because we just don't know. And here's the cool thing, Frank, with guys like you, John, Ronald, Yvette here, is that you guys are gonna, just by discussion, I'll end up with even more topics. And that's why I only want to unveil 10 of them, because I think we're gonna kind of move around what the agents are looking for help with too.
Makes
But
sense.
so I wanted to share something here. Ryan was going to come on. Everybody knows Captain Ryan, right? Baker, one of the mastermind guys.
Yep.
And we all know he has a listing on there, right?
Yep. I do.
You sure do, buddy. All right. So Ryan did his open houses on Saturday and Sunday. He ended up with 140 people walking through the house. 7 people got pre-qualified. He's got more people, but he had his first successful offer made at the open house. And I thought that was so cool that before they left, they actually made the offer inside of his open house. How cool is that? And the other great thing about it is that Avon Ann, whoever Avon Ann is not represented. So he's going to double cite it. And he's got 6 other buyers supposedly to be making offers tomorrow that are not represented either. So
No.
probably a 90% chance he's going to double cite this thing. It's pretty exciting, huh?
Good stuff.
Great.
Then we're going to go talk about another one here. So I
What's
think,
what's the price you got? What's the winning
Brian,
bid?
it ends tomorrow.
Oh, it's still ongoing. Okay.
Yeah, so because you never end the events on a holiday.
Oh, gotcha.
So he is going to I think it ends tomorrow 5 o'clock Pacific time. So here's a home here. Can everybody see where my mouse is?
Yep.
Yes.
Coda own the city.
So this is an agent that had this home listed. The unfortunate part of this thing here is this condo smack in the middle of downtown Seattle. Everybody see the size is 489 square feet. Not a
Mhm.
bedroom, it's a studio. It doesn't come with a parking place. It doesn't come with anything except for you see the amenities of the rooftop deck out there, and they've got a room and all the other stuff. HOA is pretty good. It's $500 a month. So he had this thing listed for 300 and started at 367,000. Okay. So not one person looked at it. They lowered it down to 337,000. How many people you think came and looked at it?
None.
He went down to 315. How many people you think came and looked at it?
One.
None. Then he went down to 289. How many people you think looked at it? None. So he had called up and he says, I don't know what to do with this property. And this is when we talk about buyer bucket pools. Remember in Seattle, $800,000 for a house, yada, yada, yada. Here we got it's not even a studio, 489 feet. What do you suppose the buyer bucket pool is for that?
100%.
100% bucket pool?
No, maybe 15 to 20.
Well, I'm saying anyone can afford it just about if they're out in the market.
Well, but afford it, but they,
Who wants it?
50% of the buyers have to live in it.
So,
So-
okay. So how many first-time buyers are there?
Well, I don't even know if it fits in that. I mean, I don't know how many people want to live downtown. I would say that's probably 20% at best. How many people are going to move into a studio without a bedroom? That's probably another 10%. So you probably had a buyer's bucket pool of 10% of the 100% is what I would guess. So he took this thing off the market, let it reset for 90 days, and then we've been strategizing since. He ended up taking the training, the master training, and when he, myself, and Mona were talking to him about listing this property, the only way to get a person in there is by shocking them. We had to come up with a price to get some buyers in there. The price that we had settled on was $199,000 with a 7% buyer's premium. Okay. Now I want to show you his email here.
Yeah, I got
Okay. All right. From never getting a showing, the open house resulted into 9 showings, which for a 10% buyer's bucket pool, we also had 7 additional showings. So he went from 0 to 16 people. He had 4 people get pre-qualified. He had somebody make an offer already for $220,000. What doesn't that include?
The
buyer
premium.
premium
So 220 times 7%. What is that?
234.
So guess what the owner owes on the property?
5.
No, he owes 233. So this person that made the offer does not have an agent. So Jalen's going to double side it, but he's also got 3 other people. His ends tomorrow as well. He's got 3 other people that are going to make offers. So we went from a loser property. It's probably going to end up Jalen thinks it's going to end up about 250, 260 without the buyer's premium, which means now he's getting $300,000 for something that they didn't even get a sniff at 280. It's so important, you guys knowing about the buyer bucket pool and what that brings to you. It's so important to make sure that you price these things right. You don't, in this market here with high interest rates and low, you don't want to be chasing the price down. You always want to be chasing it up.
Out of curiosity, what did he do as far as a CMA as to what the value, current market value is?
The last one that sold for 275, but it came with a parking space. The parking spaces cost $100,000. So his comp was 170. Because remember, this one didn't have a parking place. And that's the only one that sold in the last year.
Wow, tough deal, but looks like it's coming through.
So when we talk,
Maybe that's what the topic's going to be Thursday about pricing the property.
that's exactly what it is, Frank. That's exactly it. Price.
Yeah, you got to have a price right before you hold the open house. There you go. One and two.
Yeah. So it's so important to price the home right. And, for you agents that are out in Florida, you guys are dealing with the declining market out there because of the hurricanes and what's happened down there. The successful agents in Florida, what they're doing is they have their title companies running a report down there and giving them an estimated value 6 months down the road. And they're using that inside the listing presentation. In reality, that's what sellers have to deal with, right? We don't want to come in at 10% lower, and in a month from now, it's 20% lower on the MLS, right? Even though we have the greatest system out there for use, you still have to be a real estate agent and represent your fiduciary as well as you can. And that means give them the correct information and explain, just like Jalen had to do with that seller in Seattle. You really think that guy wanted to drop it down to 199? But all of a sudden, look what's happened. Our job is to get buyers into it, right? So, and I don't care any home. If just like Frank said, if the seller will play the game with you, we're going to be chasing the price up. If they don't want to play the game with you, then don't put it on the platform. Walk out with it traditional. And I'm going to go back to, because Esteban's new. I don't think Yvette's heard this. The rest of you guys have. I've got a home in Seattle that's Airbnb, making about 10 grand a month. Airbnb. Went and did the listing presentation. We sold this home to the kids. Good grief, a year and a half ago. They bought it for $880. And so I go and do the listing presentation. And again, I'm comparing traditional with easy, the method. So by the time we got done, they called their father up, who says he's a real estate expert. What does that guy do for a living, Mike? You've heard this story enough times.
My brain isn't engaging, so I don't remember.
Okay. He's a furniture salesman. Yet he's
That
the real
explains a
estate.
lot.
He's the real estate. And my wife loves these kids that bought this home. And I am telling the buyers, you guys are getting bad advice. It was kind of turning hostile, because even when Frank had his aha moment, he said, well, you can't get belligerent, you can't get hostile, you don't want to be mean about it, but when you know they're making a mistake and they needed to sell the home. Here I am yelling at the computer again. Sorry, you guys. And they went with their father's advice. That home is now 90 days on market. We've lowered the price 4 times. We are now getting down to the range where it would have been on the easy real estate platform with adding the 6% on top of it. Now we can't do it because that would be a bait and switch type deal. The kids called me after 60 days and said, hey, can we just take it off, convert it over to, and put it on the platform, on the easy real estate platform? It's like, no, can't do it. Not going to lower the price down and have the buyer pay the commissions. What's he going to think? So what do you have to do? You got to take it off the market for 90 days and let it reset. These kids aren't in a position to afford this home at a long time. So my wife, I stopped, probably like Fran said, she made me stop talking to the kids the way I was talking to them, and they went with us. Biggest mistake they've ever made in their lives was not putting this thing onto the platform. And guess what? What do you think she's getting annoyed with now? Because now all of a sudden we got it down to where we should be adding a buyer's premium. Now the home's starting to get showed. And now the seller is getting annoyed with people coming and looking through the home. We put it on the easy listing platform and we know that the home's priced right. I'm going to list it on a Thursday and I'm going to end it on a Tuesday at 5 o'clock. I'm going to get my 100 buyers through there. I'm going to get them pre-qualified. I'm going to get, by God, I'm going to get somebody to make an offer on that site before the open house is done.
You
And
know,
Ryan saw the light. Go ahead, Frank.
I was going to say, there's to the seller on the platform, there's no risk. They call the shots. So, I mean, you're playing with the house's money, so to speak. Just go with if it doesn't work, then you can switch back and go traditional or something like that. But you have nothing to lose and quite a bit to gain. It just seems like there's no argument really against it.
And exactly why you guys need to know that story, the listing presentation, backward, forward, and sideways. And again, when I go through my listing story, like I talked to an investor today. What listing presentation do you think I did with the investor? The same one that I do with everybody. The only thing I do is I turn the sellers, hey, they're an investor just like you. Because I got investors all day long I can show successful stuff. But I tie in my story to whoever that I'm talking to, just like you, Mr. Seller. Same skepticity, same everything you're telling me. I feel like I'm talking to Alan all over again. But let's see where this site took Alan. And if anybody doesn't know the story, Alan was going to sell his home traditionally, was going to net 350 on the site by letting it just run its course. We ended up in contract at 480,000 bucks. That's $130,000 more than he would have made than doing it traditionally. And by the way, that is not my best. The best one was done by Joe Petno, $309,000 over what we thought market price was.
Wow.
My best is 290,000 over what we thought market price was. Simply by making it transparent and letting buyers stop making offers when they want to stop. And the great thing is, for all you buyers agents out there, you need to become listing agents. But on my platform, buyers agents get paid. We don't have to worry about these buyer brokerage agreements. My $900 school teacher.
Yeah.
Boy, that was great. Made $900. And so anyways, we just have a very wonderful system. I am very proud to say that in the first launch of this site, it's kind of cool that we have 100% of those that are going on the site going into pending and closing on time. So there's nothing magical about the site. You still have to do your job as a real estate agent, but you gotta understand market conditions always prevail. We're not a magic 8-ball site. Not going to take a home, in Florida, out in the middle of the sticks. The closest grocery store is 50 miles, closest school is 40 miles away, and sell that home. Our buyer bucket pool's what on that? Maybe 5%? And it's 5%, you better price it accordingly. Right? All right. Esteban, hi. Long time no see. How you doing?
Hey guys.
Hey, I have an investor. You want a listing?
Always. What are you down here in South Florida?
Stick with me after the side. We're looking for an agent from Miami.
Perfect.
So we'll get you a listing here. And by the way, you guys, our marketing is starting to kick in. So for all you guys except Frank Macri, because he hasn't sent in his agreement yet. So leads are going to be starting to come your way.
Oh man.
It's all right, Frank. I'm advertising in your area. But we are starting to do it, and we hit Florida first, and Florida is blowing up. They know what they're doing, and we're getting great leads. And like I say, we're actually setting up listing appointments for you guys on it. So anyways, Esteban, I'm going to highly recommend you come through the new training. We have a new platform now. Did you go through the orientation on that?
No, I haven't, but I'll definitely take a look at it.
Yeah, we got to get you in on it. Are you still working with Joe at all?
We haven't done anything recently, but yeah, I'll be down to do the new orientation or training whenever.
Yeah, I want to get that set up with you.
That's fine.
It's amazing. The training, it's okay because I'm doing it.
What do you mean it's okay because you're doing it? My gosh, it's
I am
fabulous,
not a good
man.
trainer, you guys.
You know, you may not be a trainer, but you're an expert and you've got passion. So I don't care if you're a
That's
trainer or not. You're doing great.
good. Well, I appreciate it because I'm all you got right now. So, but no, we are doing okay. On it. So today, don't forget Thursdays. It's gonna be topic Thursdays. Frank, what's the first topic?
Pricing,
What's the second topic?
how to prepare and put on a successful one and done open house.
There we go. So that's this Thursday. It's at 1 o'clock Eastern time, 10 o'clock Pacific time. And we are going to do a year's worth of topics with you guys. We're going to let you guys drive those topics after the first 10. We will be unveiling the first 10, hopefully tomorrow on that. So that'll be some fun things. But remember, Mondays are for you guys to come in and ask me any questions that you want. If you have any questions about anything with the NER, I'm pretty versed at all of that stuff. Again, we are nationwide now. We are approved in all 50 states. That's exciting because I didn't get Hawaii approved and I just got it approved 2 weeks ago. So if you know any agents in Hawaii, but whatever. So I'm opening up the floor. What topics? Anybody have a question?
What are interest rates going to be in 2026?
Well, I can only tell you what the administration is saying they're going to be. Much lower. And he basically told the Fed chairman, get him down around under 4 in the 3s. By the end of the year, you're gone. So whether he gets it or not, I don't know. We'll see. But I got to believe he's getting everything else done. Maybe he will. So, and we're going to turn back into a seller everywhere, even in good old Florida, Esteban. You guys will become a seller market again.
Yeah, the main issue that we're experiencing down here, at least in one of my areas, which is Homestead South, right before hitting the Keys, is the competition with new construction. Right, we get a lot of developers in the area where our listings are, or sellers in general, are having a hard time just because even though the prices are higher with new construction, with all the incentives that are currently being offered, not only huge rate buy downs, but then on top of that, closing cost assistance, in some cases, the completed amount of closing costs taken care of, then that's one of the things. I've been doing a lot of assumptions. Actually today, I don't know if any of you know of any lenders that are able to cover that gap in between the sales price and the loan that could be assumed, which are both VAs and FHAs. But all the ones that we've been able to do have only been where the buyer comes up with the difference out of pocket. So if you guys know of any lenders that are able to do that, I've heard of.
You're talking about a bridge loan, right?
Yeah, bridge loan, or I've heard also they're called HELOCs as well.
So HELOC means they're just buying on their property.
Mhm.
Why won't the lenders, if it's assumable, the lenders still have proprietary right to do credit and stuff? Why won't they just refinance it at an agreeable price?
Well, because if they do a refi, that means the original rate is going to be lost. So in other words, it's just like the rate doesn't change, the loan amount doesn't change. So, most lenders say that they're going to be able to do like a second loan, but when it comes down to it, it's obviously not in their best interest to accommodot that.
Yeah, but your bridge loans and your HELOCs are up in the 7s or 8s too. But it's only not only that, there's generally a fee to secure them.
Yeah. But again, if let's say on a $600,000 property, we can get, let's say right now I have a listing that's $499. This listing at $499, there's a loan of $370 with a 2.75 VA loan.
Yeah.
As long as we can get maybe 50, 60, maybe 80,000 on a HELOC or a bridge loan, then that buyer is going to be, much more adequate, or it's going to be easier for them to be able to take over that loan.
Well,
But covering a gap of 130 is not easy. So
we have a lender, what do we call them? A strategic partner lender.
mhm.
They're FDIC, yada yada. They've got they just rolled out, I don't know, like 150 new loan programs. I'll have him
Okay.
give you a call, Esteban, see if he can help you. Or he'll certainly know somebody that can help you out if he can't do it.
Perfect. Thank
So
you.
just out of curiosity, what is this, there's a buyer involved that is looking for that, or is somebody's looking to sell something that's got some equity at that interest rate?
Well, so in essence, all VA loans are assumable, right?
Yeah.
The benefit of that is if you get another veteran that has entitlement and that wants to take over that loan, again, not a sub-2 deal, right? This is legally, again, or not, I'm not gonna say legally, but this is the lender knowing that, hey, it's gonna be transferred over to the new buyer. Well, the benefit of that is that they get to keep that loan amount at that low rate. The only, obviously, the only issue or obstacle that we come across is how is the buyer then going to cover that difference between the purchase price and the loan amount? Because he's
Right.
assuming the loan, but it's not a brand new loan. So it's just being able to cover that. Because every single one that I've done about almost 10 in the past year and a half. The buyer has been liquid enough to cover that gap, and they're willing to put all that money, even though they're not technically supposed to, if they have VA entitlement, because of the fact that they're getting that loan at such a low rate.
Well, why wouldn't you consider a sub-2 deal on that?
Because at a sub-2 deal, that means the seller's entitlements will be tied up there. That's
Okay.
that's the only reason why a sub-2 deal doesn't work for a veteran who's looking to release his entitlement so he can, buy something else as a new duty station.
That makes sense.
Primarily what me and my team, we focus on.
Hey, Frank, you're a lender. You have any advice for that?
No, I'm not a lender, but I mean, subject to there's always the risk they'll call the loan due.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you know what? You don't have to be a vet to formally assume a VA or FHA loan. So, the net effect, if they take over a loan that's 3% and you have some secondary financing at a higher rate, when you put it together, it's a pretty good rate overall.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. Yes, you're right. Like a non-veteran, that's actually the only way for a non-veteran to get a VA loan, unless they're a spouse, obviously. The only issue with that is that the veteran giving the loan to a non-veteran or even a veteran that has no entitlement, then at that point, that amount is going to be locked in there, right? So again, the conforming loan limit, we're down here a little bit over 800. If, for example, let's say my client in this particular case, which his loan amount is 370 on this VA, on this property, if he were to let a non-veteran assume that loan, that 370 is going to get tied up there until that person refis out of it, which obviously, why would they? Or if they ended up selling it or paying it off. But if at any point that person were to foreclose, then they lose that portion of entitlement forever. So we typically have seen this case where a seller who's not thinking about buying any time in the future willing to do that. But most of the veterans that we have dealt with, hey, they want to be able to reuse their entitlement and not lose it. So that's, I just want to bring this up in case somebody knew of a way to cover that gap.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about the entitlement for if the loan is formally assumed, if the veteran doesn't have their entitlement back. I would have to check with my VA loan specialist as well. But yeah, it's like a great deal if you can put the deal together, because that underlying first really will make the effective overall interest rate very reasonable.
Correct. Yeah, like I said,
Esteban,
the
are
only
you a
time
part of the Facebook groups?
I don't think so, guys, but I'm definitely going to start, getting more involved. I know I signed up, last year, but yeah, just been.
All right, well, we got a lot, we got a lot of catching up. Let me ask you this, guys. So just had a pretty smart guy give you another way to go and find sellers and also find buyers. There are so many angles in this business, it is scary. That, how many people would have thought they were still doing assumables? I kind of knew it, but I not really paid attention to it. But you start thinking, how many agents know that? And these are just the cool things that I love. You guys are much smarter than when you bring this stuff in. It's amazing. So what's another question somebody might have?
I got a question in regards to like taking a listing, because even though I got the master certificate or whatever, I'm a novice at this. But do you initially take a listing with a listing amount in, but the seller is going to go on the program? Because I'm just looking at the worst case scenario. If you do the whole deal with the open house and all that, and no sale results because of that, and so then you go back to just a traditional sale. I don't want to write a listing up for zero. Plus, my broker probably wouldn't like that either. But knowing with the buyer's addendum, that would take care of that if it goes through the platform. And I'm looking at it, if it doesn't sell that way, it just goes back to being a regular listing, and I still have my portion of the commission side of the thing.
That's actually a good topic, Frank, to talk about. So when I do my listing input and I also do the listing agreement between the seller, I am always walking out of there with the 6-month agreement, right?
Yep.
I'm not walking out of there with 4 days. Hey, I'm going to put it on Thursday and sell it on Tuesday, because sometimes it doesn't happen. In my case, most time it does, but so it doesn't. So you run an event through the platform. Nobody came to your open house. Nobody obviously made an offer. Nobody has even offered to look at it on your MLS. What do we know about the property already?
Price wasn't right.
Price wasn't right.
By a lot.
So when we talk about, Frank, you taking 6 net sheets into the listing presentation,
Right.
and we've got the traditional at market value, because we should all know what market value is doing the comps, right? Then we have the other 3 around the easy method.
Yep.
Traditional, we start shocking them a little bit, but if I were to ask an average agent, you put the home on the site at market value. What do you suppose if I were to say there was one standard answer that I'll get 90% of the time, how many days on market when something goes until they get into contract? How many days on market? What's the average days on market when we do stuff traditional?
Depends on your market.
Probably 45 days here in Cleveland.
That's a good answer, John. Mike?
60 days out in Arizona.
Bingo. I just talked to a guy that lives in upstate New York, 60 days. Talked to in Seattle, 60 days if it's listed traditional, is average days. In fact, even more days. But around the country, the general answer is going to be 60 days. So in 60 days, do you think you might be doing a price reduction? The question is, how many are we going to do in that 60 days?
I would guess one, at minimum one, if not 2 or 3, depending on how aggressive the seller is.
Exactly. So when we talk about doing it traditional with the seller, do you think that might come into play? And feel free to use my sellers. My famous words with the seller. Would you like to chase the price up, or would you rather chase it down? Who do you want to represent? The guy chasing it up or the guy chasing it down?
Please.
Exactly. And you know the story. you go in and type, you've got those 3 net sheets so they can see how much money they're going to make in each. And always one of my net sheets is at a knucklehead price on when I do the easy platform. And why did I do the knucklehead price? Because my sellers always, Alan, the story, we settled on 370, 380, somewhere in there. What did he want me to go down to get 1,000 buyers through the property? Does everybody remember the amount?
$299.
299. And what do we say? What do we talk about? Sciences, features, and benefits. Does 1,000 people offers on the site work?
No.
You're going to blow out all your good buyers, and it's just going to be sayonara. The perfect amount of people in 10 years of doing this is getting 100 buyers through the open house and the site. The science behind that is 10% of those are going to make offers. And so far, in every one of our events where we've had 100 buyers, we've had 10 people at least that were in the game. Then all of a sudden now we got the action at the open house, and it's going nutso. Got people getting pre-qualified. Everybody's all over the place. Now we start talking to the buyers about, don't come in at 370. You want a real good strategy for your buyer to snake this out of everybody else? Come in whatever your buyer, the highest value that your buyer feels comfortable with making an offer. And don't forget in our story, the first offer was $410,000. He was going to list it at 400 traditional. The Keller Williams that he had talked to beforehand, it was going to be on the market for 60 days. They might have to do a price decrease, but maybe, or not. But he had the seller thinking if it really went out to 60 days, they were going to be lowering the price. That scenario doesn't work good. You're not giving your seller representation doing that. I walk away from listings when they don't want to put it on the site. My wife doesn't. But she's always stressed out about, like, nobody's looking at the house. Nobody's looking at the house. Then the sellers get so used to nobody looking at the house. Then what do you think happens when everybody starts looking at the house?
They get annoyed.
They get annoyed. And there are so many reasons, psychology wise, to get the sellers to understand how to chase it up, not down. So, and Frank, that I like say it happens every once in a while to me, but not very often. And I do my job. I go in there hot and heavy, ready to go. I know pretty much where the home needs to be. And I'll tell you what, you guys, even that house in Seattle that we just talked about, $99,000. He's got 16 people that came and looked at it so far. And 7 of those have gotten pre-qualified. And I think there's 2 cash buyers in there too.
How long of an
So-
event is he doing on that one?
They're both in tomorrow.
Okay.
Ryan's in his. So good chance he's going to double side. Good chance Ryan's going to double side on the 2 that are ending tomorrow. But here's the cool thing. They both have offers on them, and both those offers will get accepted without anybody else making an offer. How cool is that? Did that
Yeah.
answer the question, Frank?
Yep. Just want to know the mechanics.
You got it, buddy. How about anybody else with questions?
A question. So I see that your wife and you kind of partner up with, she's the traditional lister and you are the easy platform lister. Is it a good practice to kind of do that? Partner up with another agent and do it that way so you can avoid the 90 day.
My wife all in on the easy real estate platform right now. She doesn't want to do any more listings traditional. But the only reason why we did the kids is because we sold them the house and she just felt an obligation. But to me, they don't want to price. Yeah. Frank, even in San Diego, is somebody making $300,000 and owning the house a year?
Back a few years. Yeah.
Yeah, well, not
crazy.
right now, but so Letitia, I'm going to answer this in 2 ways because I want you to make the most amount of money. If you can't get a listing appointment with offering the unique selling proposition with, when I list my home, my sellers don't pay the commission. That should get you 100% of the listing appointments. And if you're afraid or you don't understand the processes well enough, like our old crew, that because of the lousy training that we were doing, then go ahead and take them traditional. I only want you to get out and get the listing and get it sold and make the money. But once you see what this site does when it's priced right, it's exciting. It's exhilarating. Those videos that we play of the testimonials, those are actors. Those are people that have felt how happy everybody was running a great offer event. So it's a good question. Thank you. Who
When
else? Go ahead.
I have one more follow-up. When do you all set the expectation of the possible 90-day reset on the listing presentation, or I guess through the process?
When they start crying about it not selling, nobody's looking at it. Well, told you, kind of what we
Okay.
expected. So so the first thing when people come and tell me that I'm going to take a traditional listing and I'm going to convert it into an easy without having everything reset, and they want to just do it while they still have that listing, out of 35 tries on people trying to do it, not one of them is closed. So I tell people don't do that. Once you let the clock reset, then you get to start out with ground zero again, right? Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Any
Okay.
other questions? Here, aren't we? We'll talk about anything.
I have one. I have another one. Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. This is good. That's why we do these.
Okay, so in the training, you mentioned that these were good for probate and estate. I have a probate listing coming up. Can you explain to me why this is good, perfect for that?
Because the probate, did you go through the attorney or are you going through the seller?
I'm going through, at first I went through the seller and then found out we're gonna have to go through the attorney and a judge. But
Okay, so did you tell the seller, like, I'm gonna sell your home and I'm not gonna charge you guys the commission?
no, I charged the commission.
So let's say that you were talking to the same seller as me and I'm competing against you. You go in and say, so what are you charging commission wise?
Wait, I'm sorry, what'd you say?
What are you charging those sellers? How much are you charging them for commissions?
The sellers said they're using me regardless because their deceased mother wanted to use me, and they said they're only paying me my commission of 3%. They're not paying the buyer's agent.
Okay, very cool. And let's say that I'd got my mitts on them and I kind of know them a little bit too. And what's the home value at?
1.5 million. It's 23 acres,
Okay, so what's 3% of that?
about 45,000.
Yeah. So basically what I'm telling you, when you go into what I had said about probate is you go another marketing strategy is go work with probate attorneys and tell them that any of their clients with the attorneys that their clients aren't going to pay the commission.
Okay.
And if an attorney is representing them with, obviously he wants to save them money, right? Since he's gouging them himself.
Yeah, true.
So it's when I promise you, and I have had many family members see my sign and talk to me, even though they said they were going to give it to their brother, sister, nephew, whoever. And I was able to convince them to go with us and save that $45,000. And and I think it's pretty cool, Letitia, that you're doing that too. But the other thing is, where is this property located?
It's located in Mount Juliet, Tennessee. It's pretty hot development and building area right now.
Oh yeah, so chances are a contractor's going to buy it.
Yes.
Okay,
Could I ask a question regarding this? Make a comment?
sure.
I do a lot of probates, and does this executor or administrator have limited authority? Is this going to be subject to court confirmation and overbid?
Possibly.
Well, if you use the platform and it works right, no one will come into court to overbid it because it's going to already have been overbid.
Okay, that makes sense because the last probate property that I had to do, I actually had to testify in court as to fair market value and show proof.
Yeah, that's a little tricky.
When you're using our EZ platform, the opportunity to go in front of a court and talk about fair market value is an absolute no-brainer, because you've got examples of properties that were on the market 90, 120, 180 days, couldn't even get people to walk through. And then you turn around after it cools off for 90 days and put it through our process. And in a matter of days, you've got multiple bidders, which is a market, and you've got people bidding it up and up and up until no one wants to bid any higher. That is by textbook the definition of fair market value, just exactly the way auctioneers would describe it. And we can describe it the exact same way. So using our platform, you don't have to worry about fair market value. You may have someone say, well, I have an appraiser who appraised it a lot more than what it sold for. Yeah, well, that appraiser didn't write a check, did he? That appraiser didn't buy the property at his appraised value, did he? People who have the money in their pocket, who are willing to compete in a totally transparent environment and are willing to put their offer on the system, that is an established marketplace. And there's no judge, no court, nobody in this country that can argue differently. So Letitia, if you have to go back to court for probate, or anybody goes back for probate to talk about fair market value, this is the best weapon in your toolbox.
Also, there's going to be the buyer's premium over the winning bid on top of that.
Right. We're talking about the sale price, which is the high offer plus the buyer premium. And when you add that buyer premium on top of there, there's nobody that can argue that's not fair market value.
That's true. I agree.
Oh, what a good group. Love this, you guys. Wow. I like it when I can shut up and relax and listen and learn myself.
Not bad for a Monday, huh, Robert?
Yeah, it's awesome, you guys. So, anybody else have any? Hey, Esteban, would you mind? I asked for your phone number. Would you mind putting in? And I just did direct message. Would you put it in the chat for me so I can get back with you on this listing? Yeah, Frank. If anybody else wants in on those lists, Ronald, you sent me back your form, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, I'll check and see.
If not, just let me know. I can I'll get it back to you.
I think I got you. If anybody else, we have a marketing company that is setting up listing appointments for you, and they all around the easy real estate platform method. If you want that, they get paid 25% referral fee. If you don't, because there's plenty of ways to go out and get your own business.
Hey,
And
Robert,
so,
send it to me anyway. Yeah, I have to look for it, but send it to me again, because I think I want to
let me
use
just
that.
check and see if I got it here.
Okay.
So if anybody else wants in there, just say they want in. I'll send you out the agreement.
I want in.
Okay, I'll get one. I have yours, Ronald. The only one I don't have is Frank Macri's.
Okay, great.
Frank.
Okay,
Poor
okay,
Frank,
no.
my favorite person in the world, is getting picked on. So, anyways, all right, you guys. Appreciate all of you. We'll see you on Topic Tuesday. For a lot of you,
Thursday.
What's that?
Thursday.
Thursday. Yeah, and then new class starting tomorrow at 4 Eastern time. It's a big class, you guys. But come in and we're gonna. What I love about big classes is the energy and the stuff they bring in is amazing.
Are you going to send out a link for that tomorrow, Robert, or is that
I've already sent it out like 5 times to you, John.
really?
Ronald, you're getting them, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Let me
Okay,
show
I
you.
got it here.
Letitia, I think I've already sent it out to you as well. So, anyways, but
Hey, Jeremy, good on you.
tomorrow's a brand new
So I
day.
know you mentioned that your clients weren't pre-qualified yet. So
Esteban,
on this
mute
particular
yourself.
listing, the the sellers very motivated. So there's, you know, in terms of
All right, there we go. Yo, so anyways, if there are no more questions, we'll say goodbye, sayonara, and appreciate everybody coming out. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.